The barking stopped, and 15 shelter volunteers watched as River Phoenix and Johnny Depp were told that photo ops don't save animals at the Los Angeles County Animal Shelter. Downtown Los Angeles, November 1991. The Los Angeles County Animal Shelter occupies a sprawling concrete complex where the reality of pet overpopulation confronts visitors with statistics that can't be softened through public relations campaigns or celebrity endorsements. This isn't a pristine adoption center designed for comfortable donor visits. It's a municipal facility where underfunded staff make life or death decisions daily about animals whose survival depends on public adoption rates rather than good intentions. The shelter reflects its utilitarian purpose: rows of metal cages housing dogs whose barking creates constant noise, concrete floors that can be sanitized easily between occupants, fluorescent lighting that illuminates harsh realities most people prefer to avoid confronting directly. The air carries disinfectant, animal waste, and the particular sadness that accumulates in places where hope competes with overwhelming practical limitations. River Phoenix, 21 years old, walks carefully through the kennel area wearing simple jeans and a t-shirt that suggest genuine interest in animal welfare rather than costume choices designed for publicity photographs. He's here because his commitment to animal rights has evolved beyond theoretical support toward direct engagement with organizations that handle daily rescue operations. Beside him, Johnny Depp studies the facility's authentic conditions with characteristic intensity, his own casual attire reflecting serious attention to animal welfare issues that extend beyond entertainment industry charity events designed to generate positive publicity rather than address systematic problems. The scale is overwhelming, River observes quietly, noting the hundreds of animals housed in a facility designed for much smaller populations. Each animal here represents individual suffering that most people never see because it's easier to ignore than confront systematically. Like the difference between caring about animal rights and understanding what that actually means in practice, Johnny agrees, recognizing the parallel between theoretical support for causes and direct engagement with institutions that handle day-to-day reality of problems that require sustained commitment rather than occasional publicity gestures. Their morning begins with facility tour led by volunteer coordinator Sarah Martinez, whose 5-year tenure includes witnessing numerous celebrity visits that generate temporary attention but rarely translate into sustained support or meaningful policy changes that address root causes of pet overpopulation. Most public figures who visit want to focus on adoption success stories, Martinez explains, guiding them past kennels where animals with behavioral issues or medical problems face reduced adoption chances. But the real crisis involves animals that can't be easily placed in homes due to factors beyond their control. River and Johnny spend considerable time observing daily shelter operations, feeding schedules that stretch limited resources, medical evaluations that determine which animals receive expensive treatments, behavioral assessments that affect adoption prospects for animals whose personalities don't match typical pet family expectations. The shelter handles over 15,000 animals annually, with budget constraints that force difficult decisions about resource allocation, staffing levels, and medical care that private veterinary clinics would consider standard practice, but municipal facilities must ration based on available funding. Your presence here could generate media attention that increases adoption rates, Martinez continues, recognizing potential benefits of celebrity involvement while maintaining realistic expectations about sustainable impact versus temporary publicity effects. As their visit progresses, both actors demonstrate genuine engagement with shelter staff who explain complex challenges facing municipal animal control. Overpopulation driven by irresponsible breeding practices, surrender rates that spike during economic downturns, public attitudes that treat pets as disposable rather than lifetime commitments. That's when Margaret Thompson intervenes. Thompson represents frontline animal welfare work, a 43-year-old shelter worker whose decade of experience includes cleaning kennels, administering medications, and making final decisions about animals whose medical conditions or behavioral issues make adoption placement impossible. Her weathered hands and practical clothing speak to daily engagement with unglamorous realities that most animal rights supporters prefer to delegate to others. She approaches their group with skeptical attention earned through witnessing countless well-intentioned visits that generate temporary enthusiasm but disappear when media attention moves toward more glamorous charitable causes that don't require sustained commitment to difficult practical work. "Sarah," Thompson calls out, her voice carrying authority earned through years of actual animal care rather than administrative coordination. "I see we're giving the Hollywood tour today." River and Johnny feel immediate tension as other shelter workers recognize potential confrontation between celebrity visitors and staff who measure commitment through daily action rather than public statements or financial contributions that don't address systematic problems.
Thompson studies both young actors with calculating attention, her expression suggesting evaluation of whether their presence represents genuine animal welfare interest or publicity opportunity designed to enhance public images through association with popular causes. "Mr. Phoenix, Mr. Depp," Thompson continues, her tone carrying skepticism earned through distinguishing authentic animal advocates from celebrities seeking positive media coverage through charitable association. "I understand you're here to support our work, though I have to ask, are you here to help animals or help yourselves?" The question hangs in the air, loaded with challenge. Other shelter workers pausing their duties to observe how two entertainment industry professionals handle direct confrontation from someone whose expertise involves daily animal care rather than theoretical support for animal rights causes. "We're here because we care about animal welfare," River responds carefully, recognizing dangerous territory where their celebrity status provides no credibility advantage over people whose lives involve direct service to causes they discuss publicly. Thompson nods slowly, her manner suggesting professional skepticism rather than personal hostility toward people whose support could benefit shelter operations if channeled effectively rather than exploited for publicity purposes. "Care is interesting," Thompson says with calculated precision, "because I've worked here 10 years and I've seen dozens of celebrities come through for photo opportunities that generate media coverage but don't address the systematic problems that create these conditions." 5 seconds pass as Thompson's challenge develops, the shelter growing quieter except for constant animal sounds and the recognition among staff that familiar dynamics are emerging between celebrity good intentions and practical animal welfare work that requires sustained commitment. "Photo ops don't save animals," Thompson declares, with devastating accuracy earned through daily engagement with euthanasia decisions, medical emergencies, and resource allocation challenges that can't be resolved through publicity campaigns or charitable donations alone. The words land with particular force because they expose the fundamental disconnect between public animal rights advocacy and practical animal welfare work that operates through mundane daily activities invisible to media coverage focused on dramatic rescue stories rather than preventive community education. Other shelter workers nod approvingly, recognizing articulation of frustrations they experience when public attention focuses on adoptable animals while ignoring systematic issues that create overpopulation, inadequate funding, and public policies that fail to address irresponsible breeding and ownership practices. Then River Phoenix does something that surprises everyone within hearing distance, including Thompson herself. Instead of defending their charitable intentions or explaining their animal rights activism, he steps closer with genuine curiosity rather than wounded celebrity pride. "You're absolutely right," River says quietly, his voice carrying unexpected humility despite obvious challenge to his public advocacy work. "We've been supporting animal rights through statements and donations, but we haven't been engaging with daily practical work that actually saves individual animals." Thompson's expression shifts slightly, not expecting honest acknowledgement rather than defensive response from someone she'd categorized as another celebrity seeking charitable credibility through superficial association with popular causes. River continues, his sincerity growing despite the challenging situation. Can you help us understand what meaningful long-term support would look like? Not photo opportunities or publicity events, but actual work that addresses the problems you're dealing with every day. Martinez supports his friend while addressing Thompson directly. We both want our animal rights advocacy to translate into practical impact rather than just public statements that make us feel good about supporting causes without actually contributing to solutions. The silence that follows carries different energy than typical celebrity charity visits, not performative humanitarian concern, but recognition that these young men are engaging with animal welfare work more honestly than most public figures who associate themselves with popular causes. Martinez, observing this exchange, recognizes authentic commitment when she encounters it. Margaret, they're asking the right questions. Most celebrity visitors want to know about adoption events and photo opportunities rather than systematic challenges that require sustained engagement. Other shelter workers murmur agreement, some recognizing that River and Johnny are attempting genuine service learning rather than seeking validation for charitable involvement that doesn't require significant personal commitment or lifestyle changes. Thompson studies both actors for a long moment, her expression showing calculation rather than immediate dismissal as she reassesses their approach to animal welfare work that clearly extends beyond typical celebrity charity involvement patterns.
That's different than what I usually hear from your people, Thompson admits grudgingly, her tone shifting from skeptical to genuinely evaluative. Most celebrities want to know about adoption events and fundraising galas rather than daily cleaning schedules and medical care protocols. What follows isn't the dismissal everyone expected, but an educational discussion where Thompson explains the relationship between public animal rights advocacy and practical shelter operations, allowing River and Johnny to understand systematic challenges while demonstrating willingness to engage with unglamorous daily work that actually saves animals. The shelter watches with growing interest as two actors commit to regular volunteer schedules that involve cleaning kennels, assisting with medical treatments, and participating in community education programs that address root causes of pet overpopulation rather than simply promoting adoption events. Over following months, both actors return to the shelter weekly, not as celebrities generating media attention, but as regular volunteers whose consistent presence demonstrates genuine commitment to animal welfare work that operates independently of publicity considerations. Thompson begins incorporating their advocacy platforms into systematic change efforts, specifically appreciating their willingness to promote spay-neuter programs and responsible ownership education, rather than focusing exclusively on dramatic rescue stories that generate emotional responses without addressing preventive measures. Years later, both actors speak about the Los Angeles County Animal Shelter experience as transformative, rather than simply charitable, understanding that authentic animal rights advocacy requires sustained engagement with practical welfare work rather than theoretical support for causes that sound progressive without demanding personal sacrifice. Thompson occasionally references their volunteer work as example of how celebrity involvement can support systematic change when combined with genuine commitment to unglamorous daily activities that actually improve animal welfare conditions rather than generating positive publicity for charitable involvement. 5 seconds in an animal shelter in 1991. One moment when two young actors chose practical service over charitable publicity, learning over assumption. One choice that transformed superficial animal rights advocacy into genuine welfare work and proved that meaningful charitable impact requires sustained personal commitment to daily activities that operate independently of media attention or public recognition. The morning that showed authentic animal advocacy demands engaging with systematic problems rather than dramatic individual rescues, because lasting change happens through consistent practical work that addresses root causes of suffering rather than generating emotional responses that fade when attention shifts toward more glamorous charitable opportunities.